Hey everybody, it's your girl Tanya, and I'm here with another video. And I just want to talk to you guys for a minute because there's been something on my mind, and it's just troublesome. And it's talking about this housing market, the rental, the buying. It's just now, I'm feeling like it's not wanting us to live. And and I say that because you know, and I understand this is business, it's nothing personal for landlords, but something's got to give because, landlords want to charge tenants 1,900, 2,000, 2,200, 2,400, and some of the places are not worth it. Some of the places are not in the nicest areas to live, look like they need to be fixed up. And I just don't want to say it, just look like a not so good landlord owns the property, right? But so the other day I happened to call this place I was interested in, just want to see. And I was blatantly told, and that's their choice, they only rent to Section 8 tenants. I'm like, oh, okay. And I reckon, listen at me, I reckon, sounded like my grandmother. And I believe they're doing that, this is my thought, because they know in their mind sight, guaranteed rent. No, yeah, it's gonna, when you're on Section 8, the landlord, you get inspections every year. They gotta fix little minor things. So, of course, they're gonna do the little patchwork to fix it up. But that's only when inspection comes. So what happens when, something is broke down, something's broke and it needs to be fixed, you know, you don't never hear from them, or they want to say it's something you, the tenant, did. Okay. Again, that's your business. But then I think about people who don't have Section 8, like myself, paying rent on time, like myself, and you got to feel like you're caged in. You can't, if you make a noise, you're making too much noise. Or your TV's too loud, or you're talking too loud. There's a noise ordinance. Now, mind you, rent be paid on time, but if you don't pay that rent on time, you get your emails. You're gonna get a 5% late fee, or if your rent ain't on time, you're gonna get just the late fee or a 30-day notice. Or if you can't comply with, not making noise because you don't want to disturb your neighbors. But when you got something wrong with your apartment, you can't find them. You can't find them. So what makes it okay for the landlord to make all these threats and, I could put you out, I'm gonna give you a 30-day notice to leave, whether your rent is on time or not. If you don't want kids in your establishments, then you need to say this is not a kid-friendly location. You have all these high expectations for your tenants, but we as tenants can't have high expectations of our landlord. And I say that to say, it's like a relationship. When you first get into it, oh, everything is good. When you first get into it, everything's good. The landlord smiling and all that good stuff, making you feel welcome and, like this is this and that is that. But when you get in there, then that's when the nitpicking starts. But you can ask for that rent on time, but you can want that rent on time. And it just bothers me. And then another place I called, it's like buying a mortgage. You got to make 3 times the rent. Or, you got to have a particular credit score. You can make the money. You can never have no evictions. But if that credit score ain't right, they ain't gonna mess with you. So and it just kills me. Then when the housing, they say that buying a house is the American dream. Where's the dream for some people? Some people, life be happening. You get to a point where you're trying to save for that down payment, or you're trying not to use that credit card, or you trying not to have to buy another car. Life be lifing. But again, you can pay that rent, you ain't never got evicted, nothing. They're not looking at that. See, to me, that credit is just a number. It's just a number. You can have perfect credit, but somebody has said that if you ever notice, when a lot of rich people, they will buy everything they want, their house, their boat, their mobile home, their cars, everything. And then after they get everything they want, they don't care about their credit score anymore because they have everything they want. They have their house, they have their car, they have their boats, they have all that stuff. While some of us is out here chasing the dream, trying to get that credit score right, to get to a 500, to get to a 600, to get to a 700, only for them to say, you don't have enough history here, or you don't have enough saved down, or you don't have enough rental history. What is it going to take? And I am personally going to be writing my mayor, the governor, the House of Representatives, any and every one, because somebody's going to listen. Because what's got to happen is soon people is not going to have anywhere to live. And I think people sometimes forget that they were once a child, or they once had a situation where, you know, you can't afford this apartment. Then and I'm not speaking just for me. I'm just speaking in general. So then you have what they call rent control subsidy housing. You got to be on a waiting list. 9 times out of 10, people they're not moving, but then they're not fixing those up. And then people walking around, oh, that's the ghetto. I wouldn't move there, blah, blah, blah. So, and in my area of Virginia, houses, houses, houses. All you see is new houses going up. Why aren't you making things more affordable? So then you act this thing. There was one place I called, because now I'm just doing my research, just wanting to see if you make more than $50,000 with 4 people in the home, you overqualify. You can't get in it. So you don't want people to make anything and live comfortable, or you want them to have nothing to try to buy something. So by the time I went through the NACA program, right? I made the money, had the rental history, but you know what that housing counselor kept dinging me on? And then my student loans were in forbearance because he can understand that, my student loans. Well, then life happened again, and I had to go buy a car. So it's like, it's this caveat of darn if I do and darn if I don't. What's it gonna be? Do you want me to live on the streets? And now I see why so many people are going to other countries. Now I see why other people are getting in their mobile homes, they're homeschooling their children, and they're just traveling. And these mobile home on wheels are looking more and more appealing, because you can be in these nice places, as they want to say, luxury, but when you got a hole in the ceiling, or when your skylight is dripping from the rain, but then when you need them to come fix that, it's always, oh, we don't have enough maintenance, we have so much to do. But it won't like that when somebody ain't paying their rent. The first thing you're ready to do is take them to court. That's the first thing you're ready to do. You're ready to put them out. But if I, as a tenant, was to use what my right is, I'm not paying you rent until you come fix A, B, and C. You can do that, I've heard, but I've never done that. I lived in this one apartment before I moved to where I am now, which I hate. I moved here, and I should have done my research. And again, it's a catch-22, because the apartment I was in for 9 years, when I tell you, they did nothing, didn't want to fix, upgrade, nothing. paid my rent all the time, on time, before it was due. Never wanted to fix anything. So then I moved to this loft, and it's like, oh, your TV's too loud, the music's too loud, but I don't listen to music in it. But I'm just saying, things go out about people. Oh, there was a complaint, the music's too loud, or there's a complaint, the TV's too loud, or there's a complaint, the kids was running in the hall. Well, then you should tell people that this is not a place for kids. Now, there's a couple that I met when I moved in here. They've since moved. And this said person said, and I'm not going to say which unit or anything, that the floors were a mess. They never wanted to come fix anything. Their shower, it was just stream water. They never wanted to come fix anything. But you so quick to want to put somebody out. You're so quick to want to take somebody to court, but you're so slow to fix anything. I don't get that. I don't get it. Then what you need to do is clearly state no kids allowed and no rush on fixing things, which I know is not going to happen. But in a perfect world. But do I regret moving into this loft? I do. I really do. I regret the day that I moved in here. So I've been looking. But people don't get hung up with these laws because everything's included, but they have to be because they're old warehouses that have been transformed into apartments. So your water's included, your heat's included, your air's included, your electricity is included, your internet, your cable's included for one price. But you got to remember, there's no window, so I have a skylight in my living room. So it's not like I could say, oh my gosh, it's nice outside, let me open my windows. I can't do that. In my spare bedroom, there's a skylight, there's no window. In my bedroom, there's a window, but I don't even think I can open it. Okay, so somebody asked me, did you research before you moved in there? No, I really didn't. I was so ready to get out of the apartment that I had been in for 9 years where they wouldn't give me a new stove. My refrigerator had to stop working to get a new refrigerator. I had been in there 9 years, not knowing that carpet, when you're in there 7 years, you can get new carpet, and if you say that, okay, I don't think I'm going to renew my lease, you'll get a, what can I do to make you stay? Well, I was supposed to get new cabinets, new floors, right? Rental lady, oh, come take pictures, making me think something's going to happen. Well, you just got new carpets, so I don't know if I could do anything else. But that's not what you told me. That's not what you told me. But you can clearly say to everybody on if the first of the month is on a Saturday, she could clearly be there on that Saturday collecting that rent. Business is business. But at the same time, I'm paying my bills on time, I'm paying my rent on time, and I'm not asking you to come do a lot. I'm not asking you to come do a lot. I did everything I could in my powers to be a good tenant, like anywhere I go. But in here, in this loft, I feel like you're in prison. I can hear the neighbors cough. I can. Okay. But see, I'm not one of them nitpicky neighbors. Little kid down the hall. I hear him running in the hall. Long as he's happy, I'm happy. I don't care. I don't care. Because I was once a child. I had children. I have grandchildren. And some people forget where they come from. And I'm gonna tell you, it's a terrible thing. Don't forget where you came from. You should not. You really, really shouldn't. But I don't know people, but this housing market, and not just the buying, I'm talking about the renting, it is getting very difficult. And people will not have anywhere to live. Because like I said, and I'm gonna end this video here, even in the not so good neighborhoods, let me tell you something. Those people are wanting 18, 1900. And you know why? Because they know that the government is going to pay it. Instead of the government building some decent housing, and paying that 1900 to something decent. Mm-mm. And then what I notice now is these investors, they're coming into the low income neighborhoods and they're buying up the properties and they're fixing those properties up and they're moving people right on out. And that's what they're doing. They're not fixing it up so people can stay there. They're fixing it up so they can sell it and move people right on out the way. But I don't know. Something's got to give. Something has got to give because it's not getting no better. And the way things are going in our society, in our world, when is it going to get any better? Is it going to get any better? I don't know. But with that being said, you guys leave me a comment below if you find that you've experienced any of that in the housing market, trying to buy a home and to no success because it's always something. They're looking at that thing called FICO score, which is just a number. That number doesn't define me. You don't know what could have happened. You don't know what someone could have went through. But all you see again is FICO. And now apartments are doing that. Something's got to give, you guys. Something's got to give, and I don't know what it's going to take. I don't know what it's going to take. But they're putting up more housing and luxury apartments. Well, people some people can't work 2 and 3 jobs. Some people don't want to work 2 and 3 jobs just to be able to live. I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, thank you for letting me rant. Please leave me a comment and let me know your thoughts. Am I overreacting? Is it valid what I'm saying? By all means, like, comment, and subscribe and share this video. And if you're a landlord, give me your thoughts on it. And again, landlords, I know business is business. The last tenant was here, they tore my place up, I had to put money into it. When you own a house, you got to put money into it. So, anyway, until next time, bye.